Good afternoon, Capra here with your daily recap for this July 28th. Hope you guys had a great trading day. It was kind of a quiet day overall. I mean, we definitely had some earnings here before the open that set the tone and gave some opportunity if you were paying attention early. But otherwise, it became, as I said, a rather quiet day overall. Market in general was pretty quiet following yesterday's little mini flash crash to the downside, where we had that short move lower. Highlighted it in the morning call, so you could check that out. But we had that quick move down below some key moving averages. But by the end of the day, we were back up above them. So today, the S&P opened under the 8-day moving average there and was able to close basically right at it. So overall, still holding here. We'll see what next week brings as far as a resolution to the chart here, to the upside. But at the same time, something we definitely want to pay attention to and take note of is the action here in the Qs, which definitely was a bit weaker yesterday, and today, what was pretty much quiet sideways overall as well. It is below the 8-day, and you can even see how the 8-day is rolling over a little bit here. So that is another way of visually seeing the extra weakness in the Qs relative to the S&P. But overall, we've been here before, okay? We saw this happen back on June 6th, right, over here, okay, where we then had a couple weeks of sideways choppiness before rallying higher over the next several weeks to these new highs. And so we'll see if that's going to be the case here again for this scenario, or if it's going to be a little different. But overall, so far, and albeit just one day, we're holding up well. If we drill down to the hourly chart, what you'll see here is a bit of consolidation. So now the question going into next week is going to be, will we break above today's high, or do we start to move lower? Right? If we break above the highs, then we have room to push all the way back up to the high from Thursday, which, while you may think is unrealistic, the fact is there's no resistance overhead until we reach the high, assuming we get above today's high, which is 144.08. So those are the levels to be paying attention to. Now, as I said, if we start to weaken here and break under the lows next week, that could spell even more trouble, and we could be looking for an even deeper retracement. So we'll have to see how things are shaping up for next week and where we're opening. As far as some individual sectors go, IBB was strong here, relatively speaking. I mean, it got hit yesterday along with most everything else, but as you can see, it did close up here today as it continues to hold support and the 21-day moving average. So we'll see. We'll see if it can hold on to the strength and continue to be a leader here going forward. Also strong was financials, XLF. It pulled back into this support area, gave us a little reversal here today. So now the question will be going into next week, does it start to follow through higher, or is this going to fail and break under this level of support? Again, questions that need to be answered, and until we get those answers, until we start to see some clarity there, it's really not going to be very clear as to what's going to happen. So we got to watch these key levels. Looking at gold as something that may help guide the process or thoughts, gold was strong here today. And this isn't a surprise. I mean, gold is typically seen as a safety asset, and so when traders are beginning to grow more fearful, more concerned, they may look to gold as that safety net. And so gold here is pushing up over the last couple days. It has some room to move a bit higher, so it'll be one to continue watching for clues. If it continues to advance higher, that may spell trouble for the market, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And then also oil, USO, continues to push higher. It's got the 200-day moving average right up here at, what do we got here? Right around 1035 or so. So that lines up in the area of this prior high from late May. We'll definitely want to keep an eye on that. But overall, oil has been pushing up. And if we take a quick look here at the weekly chart, what you'll notice is that we actually closed above these recent highs on the weekly. So that is an indication of increasing strength. And we'll definitely want to see what kind of follow through we get here in this coming week. As far as some individual names real quick, Amazon, they reported got hit hard, gap down, but they held that 1,000 level, so silver lining there. We'll see what they do here moving forward into next week, whether they try and go up and fill this gap or start to try and just consolidate here and reestablish some confidence here for the bulls. But either way, holding 1,000 was definitely a good sign. Baba, nice turnaround here. These names in general, Baba, Momo, they got turned around here today following yesterday's weakness. So it's good to see some of those names shaking off the weakness that we got yesterday on Thursday and looking to resume the trend here. So as I said, Momo also reversing course. Look for this one to continue moving higher as well. And then finally the Baidu, which reported well. You can see big gap up here today, continued to rip higher, huge volume spike. So really nice move here in the Baidu, and we'll see if it can hold this upper area. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be looking for it to follow through right away next week, but if it can just hold up here now that it's kind of stretched away from these moving averages, that would be very positive development here. Maybe it kind of flags lower a bit, we'll see. But either way, we'll be looking for this to move higher ultimately. So as I said, hope you guys had a great trading week so far, or in general. Hope you have an even better weekend, and we will talk to you again next week.